Welcome back, Billionaire. Welcome to today's Read With Me session, Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. Hope you had a beautiful day so far. Great evening, great day. And let's dive right into this incredible, powerful book, Science of Getting Rich, baby. So, we concluded last Read With Me session. And if you're just joining us, my name is Vanessa Black. Vanessa Black, one of the owners of Billionaire Rhett. And we have playlists on the side of this YouTube channel where you can dive in, catch up on the book, and then join us back in here. But we spoke about a lot of incredible things. Okay. Thought is the thing. By thought, the thing you want is brought to you. By action, you receive it. Okay. Efficient action. That's what we're diving into today. Okay. Have you created your vision? Have you formed that vision in detail of what you want, of your vision, of your goals? Okay. And we talked about connecting the two. You can't just, it's not just thought, but now it's also personal action as well. Those have to be connected. So important. And yeah, let's dive into it right now. Efficient action. All righty. Cheers to you. Cheers to you. All righty. Let's get right into it. Chapter 12, efficient action. You must use your thought as directed in previous chapters and begin to do what you can do where you are. And you must do all that you can do where you are. You can advance only by being larger than your present place. And no one is larger than his present place who leaves undone any of the work pertaining to that place. The world is advanced only by those who more than fill their present places. If no one quite filled his present place, you can see that there must be going backward in everything. Those who do not quite fill their present places are dead weight upon society, government, commerce, and industry. They must be carried along by others at a great expense. The progress of the world is slowed only by those who do not fill the places they are holding. They belong to a former age and their tendency is toward degeneration. No society could advance if everyone was smaller than its place. Social evolution is guided by the law of physical and mental evolution. In the animal world, evolution is caused by excess of life. When an organism has more life than can be expressed in the functions of its own plane, it develops the organisms of a higher plane, and a new species is originated. There never would have been new species had there not been organisms which more than filled their places. The law is exactly the same for you. Your getting rich depends upon your applying this principle to your own affairs. Like, this is all in alignment to nature. This is all the truth. And that's what I love about this book. There never would have been new species had there not been organisms which more than filled their places. The law is exactly the same for you and I. Your getting rich depends upon your applying this principle to your own affairs. Every day is either a successful day or a day of failure. And it is the successful days which get you what you want. If every day is a failure, you can never get rich. While if every day is a success, you cannot fail to get rich. If there is something that may be done today and you do not do it, you have failed insofar as that thing is concerned. And the consequences may be more disastrous than you can imagine. You cannot foresee the results of even the most trivial act. You do not know the workings of all the forces that have been set moving in your behalf. Much may be depending on your doing some simple act, and it may be the very thing which is to open the door of opportunity to very great possibilities. You can never know all the combinations which supreme intelligence is making for you in the world of things and of human affairs. Your neglect or failure to do some small thing may cause a long delay in getting what you want. Do every day all, capital ALL, all that can be done that day. I'm going to repeat that. Your neglect or failure to do some small thing may cause a long delay in getting what you want. Do every day all that can be done that day. There is, however, a limitation or qualification of the above that you must take into account. You are not to overwork, nor to rush blindly into your business into the effort to do the great possible number of things in the shortest possible of time. It's not what he's saying. You are not to try to do tomorrow's work today, as we discussed in the last chapter, nor to do a week's work in one day. It is really not the number of things that you do, but the efficiency of each separate action that counts. It is not the number of things you do, but the efficiency of each action that counts. Every act in itself, either a success or a failure. Every act is in itself either effective and efficient or ineffective and inefficient. Every inefficient act is a failure, and if you spend your life in doing inefficient acts, your whole life will be a failure. The more things you do, the worse for you, if all your acts are inefficient ones. On the other hand, every efficient act is a success in itself, and if every act of your life is an efficient one, your whole life must be a success. The cause of failure is doing too many things in an inefficient manner and not doing enough things in an efficient manner. That's a highlighter one. If you're taking notes, it's a great one. The cause of failure is doing too many things in an inefficient manner and not doing enough things in an efficient manner. You will see that it is a self-evident proposition that if you do not do any inefficient acts, and if you do a sufficient number of efficient acts, you will become rich. So my rich people, if now it is possible for you to make each act an efficient one, you see again that the getting of riches is reduced to an exact science like mathematics. The matter turns then on the question of whether you can make each separate act a success in itself. And this you can certainly do. You can make each act a success because all power is working with you and all power cannot fail. Power is at your service, and to make each act efficient, you have only to put power into it. And what connects you with power? Gratitude. Every action is either strong or weak. And when every action is strong, you are acting in a certain way which will make you rich. Every act can be made strong and efficient by holding your vision while you are doing it and putting the whole power of your faith and purpose into it. That is the key right here. How do I make an act strong and efficient? Every act can be made strong and efficient by holding your vision while you are doing it and putting the whole power of your faith and purpose into it. Holding your vision while you're doing it, holding your vision while you're doing that act, and putting the whole power of your faith and purpose into it. Hold the vision, put that power of faith and purpose into it. It is at this point that the people who separate mental power from personal action fail. They use the power of mind in one place and at one time, and they act in another way in another place at another time. That's powerful. So to quickly summarize that, okay, maybe one person can be doing all the mental activities and they're picturing and they have their picture formed and it's detailed. But when they go to take action, it's completely separate. They forget about that. So where the efficient action is yes, I have that formed picture, that vision, but I'm bringing it into every single action that I take. It's with me. with faith and purpose. So now you're doing both. You're not separating them. And that's where he says, people who separate mental power from personal action fail. Because when they're doing the actions, they totally forget about the mental power. So their acts are not successful in themselves. Too many of them are inefficient. But if all power goes into every act, no matter how commonplace, every act will be a success in itself. And since it is the nature of things that every success opens the way to other successes, increasing life, your progress toward what you want and the progress of what you want toward you will become increasingly rapid. Remember that successful action is cumulative in its results. Since the desire for more life is inherent in all things, when a person begins to move towards larger life, more things attach themselves to him, and the influence of his desire is multiplied. How do you multiply that paragraph? Just like we talked about in a previous Read With Me session in this book, when you plant the seed, that multiplies, it's increasing life, right? The seed produces the fruit. Each fruit has the seeds in it. You plant that again, increasing life, multiplying. You don't just have one fruit. Now you have 100 fruit on the tree. It's multiplied. It's not 1 equals 1. It's actually multiplied. And then you multiply it again, and it's increasing life, and repeat and repeat and repeat. Same thing with our successful actions. Your desires multiply. Do every day all that you can do that day, and do each act in an efficient manner. In saying that you must hold your vision while you are doing each act, however trivial or commonplace, I do not mean to say that it is necessary at all times to see the vision distinctly to its smallest details. It should be the work of your leisure hours to use your imagination on the details of your vision and to contemplate them until they are firmly fixed upon the memory. If you wish speedy results, spend practically all your spare time in this practice. Speedy results, spend all your spare time in this practice. By continuous contemplation, you will get the picture of what you want, even to the smallest detail, so firmly fixed upon your mind and so completely transferred to the mind of formless substance that in your working hours, you need not only to mentally refer to the picture to stimulate your faith and purpose and cause your best effort to be put forth. Contemplate your picture in your leisure hours until your consciousness is so full of it that you can grasp it instantly. You'll become so enthused with its bright promises that their mere thought of it will call forth the strongest energies of your whole being. Let us again repeat our syllabus, and by slightly changing the closing statements, bring it to the point we have now reached. Concluding chapter 12. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which in its original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe. A thought in this substance produces a thing that is imaged by the thought. A person can form things in his thought, and by impressing his thought upon formless substance can cause the thing he thinks about to be created. In order to do this, a person must pass from the competitive to creative mind. He must form a clear mental picture of the things he wants and must do with faith and purpose. All that can be done each day, doing each separate thing in an efficient manner. That concludes chapter 12. Diving into chapter 13. Double tap. That was powerful. You got some value from it. Okay, chapter 13. Getting into the right business. Success in any particular business depends for one thing upon you're possessing, in a well-developed state, the faculties required in that business. Without good musical faculty, no one can succeed as a teacher of music. Without well-developed mechanical faculties, no one can achieve great success in any of the mechanical trades. Without tact and the commercial faculties, no one can succeed in mercantile pursuits. But to possess in a well-developed state the faculties required in your particular vocation does not ensure getting rich. There are musicians who have remarkable talent and who yet remain poor. You know some people? There are blacksmiths, carpenters, and so on who have excellent mechanical ability, but who do not get rich. There are coaches who are great at what they do, but they do not get rich. And there are merchants with good faculties for dealing with people who nevertheless fail. The different faculties are tools. It is essential to have good tools, but it is also essential that the tools should be used in the right way. One man can take a sharp saw, a square, a good plane, and so on, and build a handsome article of furniture. Another man can take the same tools and set to work duplicate the article, but his production will be a botch. He does not know how to use good tools in a successful way. The various faculties of your mind are the tools with which you must do the work, which is to make you rich, developing your skill sets. So it will be easier for you to succeed if you get into a business for which you are well equipped with mental tools. Generally speaking, you will do best in that business which will use your strongest faculties, the one for which you are naturally best fitted. But there are limitations to this statement also. No one should regard his vocation as being irrevocably fixed by the tendencies with which he was born. You can get rich in any business, for if you have not the right talent, you can develop that talent. It merely means that you will have to make your tools as you go along, instead of confining yourself to the use of those with which you are born. It will be easier for you to succeed in a vocation for which you already have the talents in a well-developed state, but you can succeed in any vocation, for you can develop a rudimentary talent, and there is no talent of which you have not at least the rudiment. You will get rich most easily in terms of effort. If you do that for which you are best fitted, but you will get rich most satisfactorily if you do that which you want to do. Doing what you want to do is life. Doing what you want to do is life. And there is no real satisfaction in living if we are compelled to be forever doing something which we do not like to do and can never do what we want to do. And it is certain that you can do what you want to do. The desire to do it, I love this sentence right here. Hope you're paying attention. The desire to do it is proof that you have within you the power which can do it. Your desires that you have is proof that you have the ability to do it. The desires you have right now, because you have the desire, that's the proof that you have the ability to do it. You can do it. Desire is a manifestation of power. The desire to play music is the power which can play music, seeking expression and development. Because I have the desire to sing, that means I have the power to sing. I just haven't developed my skills. Okay. The desire to invent mechanical devices is the mechanical talent seeking expression and development. Where there is no power, either developed or undeveloped, where there is no power to do a thing, there is never any desire to do that thing. And where there is a strong desire to do that thing, it is a certain proof that the power to do it is strong and only requires to be developed and applied in the right way. All other things being equal, it is best to select the business for which you have the best developed talent. But if you have a strong desire to engage in any particular line of work, you should select that work as the ultimate end at which you aim. You can do what you want to do, and it is your right and privilege to follow the business or avocation, which will be most congenial and pleasant. You are not obliged to do what you do not like to do and should not do it except as a means to bring you to doing of the things you want to do. If there are past mistakes whose consequences have placed you in an undesirable business or environment, you may be obliged for some time to do what you do not like to do, but you can make the doing of it pleasant by knowing that it is making it possible for you to come to the doing of what you want to do. Especially this goes out to you that are like you have a business and maybe you're the only person in your business right now. You may have to do things that you may not like to do at the moment, but get excited about it because you know that that activity is making it possible for you to come to do the activity that you really want to do. That's how we started Ivy Leads. In the beginning, doing activity, not necessarily the activity we saw ourselves doing forever that we wanted to do, but it was exciting because eventually it will lead us to the activity that we want to do. If you feel that you are not in the right vocation, do not act too hastily in trying to get into another one. The best way generally to change business or environment is by growth. By growth. That's the best way to change business or environment, by growth. And I mean, you're here. Do not be afraid to make a sudden and radical change. If the opportunity is presented and you feel after careful consideration that is the right opportunity. But never take sudden or radical action when you are in doubt as to the wisdom of doing so. There is never any hurry on the creative plane, and there is no lack of opportunity. When you get out of the competitive mind, you will understand that you never need to act hastily. No one else is going to beat you to the thing you want to do. There is enough for all. If one space is taken, another and a better one will be open for you a little farther on. There is plenty of time. When you are in doubt, wait. Fall back on the contemplation of your vision and increase your faith and purpose. And by all means, in times of doubt and indecision, cultivate gratitude. A day or two spent in contemplating the vision of what you want and an earnest thanksgiving that you are getting it will bring your mind into such close relationship with the Supreme that you will make no mistake when you do act. The whole paragraph is awesome. I mean, I would highlight this whole book. So I'm trying to pick things. Okay. There's never any hurry on the creative plane. Okay. There is a mind which knows all there is to know, and you can come into close unity with this mind by faith and the purpose to advance in life. If you have deep gratitude, mistakes come from acting hastily or from acting in fear or doubt or in forgetfulness of the right motive. Forgetfulness of the right motive. That's where error comes. That's where mistakes come, which is more life to all. That is the main purpose. That's the right motive. More life to all and less to none. As you go on in a certain way, opportunities will come to you in increasing number, and you will need to be very steady in your faith and purpose and to keep in close touch with the Supreme Mind by reverent gratitude. Do all that you can do in a perfect manner every day, but do it without haste, worry, or fear. Go as fast as you can, but never hurry. Remember that in the moment you begin to hurry, you cease to be a creator and become a competitor. You drop back upon the old plane again. Whether you find yourself hurrying, call a halt. Fix your attention on the mental image of the thing you want and begin to give thanks that you are getting it. The exercise of gratitude will never fail to strengthen your faith and renew your purpose. Will never fail. Chapter 14, the impression of increase. Okay, let's dive right into it. Impression of increase. Whether you can change your vocation or not, your actions from the present must be those pertaining to the business which you are now engaged. You can get into the business you want by making constructive use of the business you are already established in. By doing your use of the business, by doing your daily work in a certain way. And insofar as your business consists in dealing with other people, whether personally or by letter, The key thought of all your efforts must be to convey to their minds the impression of increase. Increase is what all men and all women are seeking. It is an urge of the formless intelligence within them seeking fuller expression. The desire for increase is inherent in all nature. It is the fundamental impulse of the universe. All human activities are based on this desire. People are seeking more food, more clothes, better shelter, more luxury, more beauty, more knowledge, more pleasure, increase in something, more life. Every living thing is under the necessity for continuous advancement. Where increase of life ceases, dissolution and death set in at once. Man instinctively knows this, and therefore he is forever seeking more. This law of perpetual increase is set forth by Jesus in the parable of the talents. Only those who gain more retain any. For him who has not shall be taken away even that which he has. The normal desire for increased wealth is not an evil or reprehensible thing. It is simply the desire for more abundant life. It is aspiration. And because it is the deepest instinct of their natures, all men and women are attracted to those who can give them more of the means of life. In following the certain way as described in the foregoing pages, you are getting continuous increase for yourself, and you are giving it to all with whom you deal. You are a creative center from which increase is given off to all. Be sure of this and convey assurance of the fact that to every man, woman, and child with whom you come in contact. No matter how small the transaction, even if it be only the selling of a stick of candy to a little child, put into it the thought of increase and make sure that the customer is impressed with the thought. Convey the impression of advancement with everything you do, so that all people shall receive the impression that you are an advancing personality, and that you advance all who deal with you, even to the people whom you meet in a social way, without any thought of business, and to whom you do not try to sell anything. Give the thought of increase. You can convey this impression. How can you convey this impression? By holding the unshakable faith that you yourself are in the way of increase, and by letting this faith inspire, fill, and permeate every action. How do you convey increase to someone else? By holding the unshakable faith that you are in the way of increase, and by letting this faith inspire, fill, and permeate every action. It goes back to, how do you inspire the poor? How do you help the poor? Get rich. Do everything, because that's what inspires them. It's not about giving money to charity. That's good for one meal, one day. But your example that you're going into increase, they catch that. Do everything that you do in the firm of conviction that you are an advancing personality and that you are giving advancement to everybody. Feel that you are getting rich, and that in doing so, you are making others rich and conferring benefits on all. Do not boast or brag of your success or talk about it unnecessarily. True faith is never boastful. Whether you find a boastful person, you find one who's secretly doubtful and afraid. Simply feel the faith, and let it work out in every transaction. Let every act and tone and look express the quiet assurance that you are getting rich, that you are already rich. Words will not be necessary to communicate these feelings to others. Woo. They will feel the sense of increase when in your presence and will be attracted to you again. Excuse me. You must so impress others that they will feel that in associating with you, they will get increase for themselves. See that you give them a use value greater than the cash value you are taking from them. Take an honest pride in doing this and let everybody know it. And you will have no lack of customers. People will go where they are given increase, and the Supreme, which desires increase in all and which knows all, will move toward you, men and women who have never heard of you. Your business will increase rapidly, and you'll be surprised at the unexpected benefits which will come to you. You will be able from day to day to make a larger combinations, secure greater advantages, and to go on into a more congenial vocation if you desire to do so. Doing all this, you must never lose sight of your vision of what you want or your faith and purpose to get what you want. Let me here give you another word of caution in regard to motives. Beware of the insidious temptation to seek for power over other people. Nothing is so pleasant to the unformed or partially developed mind as the exercise of power or dominion over others. The desire to reel for selfish gratification has been the curse of the world. For in their battles to extend their dominions, not to seek more life for all, but to get more power for themselves. Today, the main motive in the business and industrial world is the same. Men marshal their armies of dollars and lay waste in the lives and hearts of millions in the same mad scramble for power over others. Commercial kings, like political kings, are inspired by the lust for power. Look out for the temptation to seek for authority, to become a master, to be considered as one who is above the common herd, to impress others by lavish display, and so on. The mind that seeks for mastery over others is the competitive mind, and the competitive mind is not the creative one. In order to master your environment and your destiny, it is not at all necessary that you should rule over your fellow men. And indeed, when you fall into the world's struggle for the high places, you begin to be conquered by fate and environment, and your getting rich becomes a matter of chance and speculation. Beware of the competitive mind. No better statement of the principle of creative action can be formulated than the favorite declaration of the late Golden Rule Jones of Toledo. What I want for myself, I want for everybody. What I want for myself, I want for everybody. Chapter 15, the advancing personality. And we're going to end this, literally, this is the last chapter of the book before we go into some observations and the summary of the science of getting rich. So chapter 15, the advancing personality. What I have said in the last chapter applies as well to the professional person and the wage earner as to the person who is engaged in selling or any form of business. No matter whether you are a physician, a teacher, or a clergyman, if you can give increase of life to others and make them sensible of that fact, they will become attracted to you and you will get rich. The physician who holds the vision of himself as a great and successful healer and who works towards the complete realization of that vision with faith and purpose, as described in the former chapters, will come into such close touch with the source of light that he will be phenomenally successful. Patients will come to him in throngs. No one has a greater opportunity to carry into effect the teachings of this book than the practitioner of medicine. It does not matter to which of the various schools he may belong, for the principle of healing is common to all of them and may be reached by all alike. The advancing man in medicine who holds to a clear mental image of himself as a successful and who obeys the laws of faith, purpose, and gratitude will cure every curable case he undertakes. In the field of religion, the world cries out for the clergyman who can teach his healers our true science of abundant life. Hearers, not healers, can teach his hearers the true science of abundant life. He who masters the details of the science of getting rich, together with the allied sciences of being well, of being great, and of winning love, and who teaches these details from the pulpit, will never lack for a congregation. This is a gospel that the world needs. It will give increase of life, and people will hear it gladly and give liberal support to the person who brings it to them. What is now needed is a demonstration of the science of life from the pulpit. We want preachers who can not only tell us how, but who in their own persons will show us how. We need the preacher who will himself be rich, healthy, great, and beloved to teach us how to attain these things. And when he comes, he will find a numerous and loyal following. The same is true of the teacher who can inspire the children with the faith and purpose of the advancing life. He will never be out of a job. And any teacher who has the faith and purpose can give it to his pupils. He cannot help giving it to them if it is a part of his home life and practice. What is true of the teacher, preacher, and physician is true of the lawyer, dentist, real estate agent, insurance agent, of everybody. The combined mental and personal action I have described is infallible. It cannot fail. Every man and woman who follows these instructions steadily, perseveringly, and to the letter will get rich. The law of the increase of life is as mathematically certain in its operation as the law of gravity. Getting rich is an exact science. The wage earner will find this as true of his case as of any of the others mentioned. Do not feel that you have no chance to get rich because you are working where there is no visible opportunity for advancement. Where wages are small and the cost of living high, form your clear mental vision of what you want and begin to act with faith and purpose. Do all the work you can do every day and do each piece of work in a perfectly successful manner. Put the power of success and the power and the purpose to get rich into everything that you do. Put the power of success and the purpose to get rich into everything that you do. But do not do this merely with the idea of curing favor with your employer, in the hope that he or those above you will see your good work and advance you. It is not likely that they will do so. The person who is merely a good worker, filling his place to the very best of his ability and satisfied with that, is valuable to his employer, and it is not to the employer's interest to promote him. He is worth more where he is. To secure advancement, something more is necessary than to be too large for your place. The person who is certain to advance is the one who is too big for his place, who has a clear concept of what he wants to be, who knows that he can become what he wants to be, and who is determined to be, capital B-E, what he wants to be. Do not try to more than fill your present place with a view to pleasing your employer. Do it with the idea of advancing yourself. Hold the faith and purpose of increase during work hours, after work hours, and before work hours. Hold it in such a way that every person who comes in contact with you, every person, whether foreman, fellow worker, or social acquaintance, will feel the power of purpose radiating from you, so that everyone will get the sense of advancement and increase from you. People will be attracted to you, and if there's no possibility for advancement in your present job, you will very soon see an opportunity to take another job. There is a power which never fails to present opportunity to the advancing personality, who is moving in obedience to law. God cannot help helping you if you act in a certain way. God cannot help helping you if you act in a certain way. He must do so in order to help himself. There is nothing in your circumstances or in an industrial situation that can keep you down. If you cannot get rich working for the Steel Trust, you can get rich on a 10-acre farm. And if you begin to move in a certain way, you will certainly escape from the clutches of the Steel Trust and get on the farm or wherever else you wish to be. If a few thousand of its employees would enter upon the certain way, the Steel Trust would soon be in a bad plight. It would have to give its workers more opportunity or go out of business. Nobody has to work for a trust. The trust can keep people in so-called hopeless conditions only so long as there are people who are ignorant of the science of getting rich or too intellectually slothful to practice it. Begin this way of thinking and acting, and your faith and purpose will make you quick to see any opportunity to better your condition. Such opportunities will speedily come, for the supreme power working in all and working for you will bring them before you. Do not wait for an opportunity to be all that you want to be. When an opportunity to be more than you are now is presented and you feel impelled toward it, take it. It will be the first step toward greater opportunity. There is no such thing possible in this universe as a lack of opportunities for the person who is living the advancing life. It is inherent in the constitution of the cosmos that all things shall be for him and work together for his good. And he must certainly get rich if he acts and thinks in a certain way. So let wage-earning men and women study this book with great care and enter with confidence upon the course of action it prescribes. It will not fail. No additional words needed to be said here today. That concludes the Read With Me session today. And in the next Read With Me session, we are going to chapter 16, which is some cautions and concluding observations, as well as a summary of the science of getting rich. Wow. Share this if you found this valuable. If it has added increase to you in your life in any way, let us know in the comments, or don't. That's okay as well. But I'm grateful for you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time, investing in it to your growth and your vision and mission. And let's go ahead and implement this and do every action that we take in a successful, efficient manner by being present and holding that vision. The more we hold our vision, get detailed on it, we'll be able to pick that up instantaneously with every act that we actually do in the present. Okay, the only time is right now. And when we act in the present now, we have won. And so appreciate you. We'll see you in the next episode. Love you and have a beautiful rest of your day. Take care.